Welcome back to the Place to Be Reviews. Article from Screenrant came out a couple hours ago by Chris Agar. Last Jedi's Rian Johnson was disappointed by The Empire Strikes Back when he first saw it. Can't you just see the look of disappointment on poor little Rian Johnson of the House of Roundhead's face? On his little moon-shaped face, filled with soy and wonder, how he was disappointed by The Empire Strikes Back because it wasn't probably subversive enough. Ugh. The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson reveals he was disappointed by The Empire Strikes Back when he first saw it as a child. Though it's considered arguably the best film in the Star Wars franchise, which I concur, there was a point in time when the reaction to Empire was much more divisive. Following the whiz-bang space opera of A New Hope, many were surprised by the darker turns the Empire took, such as Han Solo being frozen in carbonite, Luke Skywalker learning the horrifying truth about his father. Additionally, the film ended on a downer cliffhanger, leaving some feeling terrified. Empire's reputation drastically improved in the years since, becoming the gold standard for Hollywood franchise sequels. Every other property has tried to make their Empire Strikes Back. It's amusing to know that the film wasn't always held in such a high regard. Even someone who would go on to make his own divisive Star Wars movie wasn't particularly enamored with it when he first watched it in his youth. In an interview with Uproxx, that's a reputable news site, to promote Knives Out, I did a video about that yesterday, which I'll link in the description here. Johnson touched on his relationship to The Empire Strikes Back. It eventually became his favorite one, but after his first viewing, he wasn't a big fan. But as a kid, I distinctly remember being disappointed by The Empire Strikes Back. Ugh. When Johnson's The Last Jedi became one of the most polarizing films of the decade nearly 2 years ago, many remarked on how the response was similar to initial Empire reactions. No. Johnson himself was hesitant to play that comparison in the interview, but the parallels are definitely there. Fans were disappointed by some of Johnson's creative choices. A lot. Basically all of his creative choices led to the garbage dumpster fire that was The Last Jedi, which subverted many expectations. There's that word again, subverted expectations. People had going into the film, like it would be cohesive and coherent and follow the canon. No. Some maintain the belief that The Last Jedi's own reputation will improve once The Rise of Skywalker comes out and people can view it within the full context of the sequel trilogy, which is a disjointed mess. It's not a coincidence Empire became the high bar for Star Wars after Return of the Jedi wrapped up the original trilogy, and viewers could see how it all came together. This is not going to be the case with The Last Jedi. I'm telling you, you're setting yourself up for more disappointment. Whether or not that happens obviously remains to be seen, but Johnson's case is encouraging, no it's not, that perhaps some will change their views on The Last Jedi in the next few years. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're grasping at straws. Of course, there will always be people displeased by the film, which is par for the course with something as massive as Star Wars. No, it's not that hard to make a good Star Wars movie. But it would be nice if The Last Jedi discourse wasn't as heated and volatile as it is now. That's not our fault. We express our displeasure with plot points in the movie and the development of the characters or lack thereof, and the forced diversity that could have been done organically, but it was ham-fisted and ridiculous. Canto Bight was a waste of time. You took characters that Jar Jar at least tried to develop and turned them into jokes, Finn and Poe. So, yeah, no, it's not going to improve at all. That's like saying the holiday special is actually not better than The Last Jedi. That will probably depend on what The Rise of Skywalker does to definitively end the story. So ideally, the saga will conclude on a high note, and there will be more people like Johnson where disappointment over The Last Jedi turns to appreciation. I just explained why that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This right here, this sack of soy, he cannot do anything that can make us change our minds. Episode 9 personally cannot make me change my mind about The Last Jedi. Episode 9 might have some high notes in it for me. It just might. I don't know. I doubt. I'm not going to see it in the theaters. I'm going to wait to see some early reviews and a few other bigger channels that are going to review it. World Class Bullshitters, for example. They'll suffer so we don't have to, because unless somebody buys me a ticket, I'm not going to this movie. So, with that being said, we'll be talking about this more in depth tonight on episode 60 of The Place to Be Reviews, right here live streaming at 8:30 p.m. with my guests, my brother from another mother, Raiders of the Lost Flicks. Of course, my co-host, MJ herself, Miss Monica, will be here. Tap and Die will be here. Making his debut tonight will be my boy Will. That's right. So it's all tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on The Place to Be Reviews. And if I don't see you, have a good day and a pleasant tomorrow. I'll leave you with an image of Ruin Johnson of the House of Roundhead. I apologize.